Okay, so second example is going to be this athlete here just wanted to move into a very strength biased and strength heavy program. Still wanted to do some CrossFit. So what I'm going to talk about is mainly just the exposure to the amount of, let me just delete this, some secret things there. No. But yeah, I'll talk about the exposures of the snatch and clean and jerk, and just what we're looking to do from there. So when he was doing his just sort of pure, focusing more on his CrossFit, he had Monday is the main snatch session, Tuesday is the main jerk session, Wednesday is the main clean session, and then Friday he would do one heavy lift, and then he would do barbell cycling on the other variation. So on this week he was doing a heavy clean and jerk complex, and then he was going into some touch and go power snatches after that. What we've done moving into his weightlifting program is we've just added in, we've kept Monday as the snatch day, Tuesday as the jerk day, Wednesday as the clean day. Friday he's doing both lifts, so we're having a little bit more of a, this is typically how weightlifters are training. They usually have a day which is they're doing both lifts back to back, and this is usually the day where they're going to be going heavy. So he's still got this main structure, but the main changes are, I wanted to increase the amount of lighter pulling from the floor, and then also the amount of practice that he got with the snatch. Generally speaking, practicing the snatch a little bit more often, it can just have, that's sort of the way to go about it. For the clean and jerk, it's a little bit more strength based. So you don't necessarily need to touch it as often, but you need to keep your strength levels a little bit higher. So for the Monday session, we moved from like a hang snatch into full snatch, so one rep from the floor in the complex. We moved the Monday piece to just doing hang work, and then there is some snatch pulls to do afterwards. But the snatch pulls are not going to be too heavy. It's just adding 5 to 10 kgs on to the working weights from the hang variation beforehand, and then going into just 2 sets for the first week, just to get a little bit extra work from the floor. And then on the Wednesday, there is a muscle snatch variation. Again, only 3 sets, 3 reps. We're not looking at anything to be super heavy here. The variation itself is going to be quite weight limiting. So what we're trying to do with this program is sort of just thread in a little bit more volume, but not too much. And just trying to make things a little bit more contextual and a little bit more specific to weightlifting in terms of trying to bring up those numbers. So this is where, you're going to add in a little bit of pull work here. You're going to add in, maybe some muscle snatches or some tool snatch as a bit of a primer. But the key is if you're going from so if you're going from, in this week here, we have 2 exposures to the snatch, the clean, and also the jerk. Bearing in mind, one of those exposures on the clean and jerk is the complex itself. So we have 2 exposures per week. Moving into the following week, we have, for the jerk, we have sort of 2 jerk exposures, 2 clean exposures, and we have 3 snatch exposures. And then from here, potentially, we might increase and add another jerk exposure. We probably keep the clean exposures as they are, and I think squats and pulls are some tools you can use to try and bring that up. But again, we're not wanting to see too much of a change here in terms of his conditioning and stuff like that. The conditioning moved from a lot more harder CrossFit, harder intervals, that type of stuff, and he moved more into just general fitness, a lot lower volume, in that he's still doing CrossFit, he's still practicing his skills, but he's just not necessarily spending half an hour going through a conditioning progression. And we're using a little bit more of that a lot of time to go through some of those little extras, and obviously the increase of exposure. So if you are going to be moving from a CrossFit program more into a weightlifting program, it doesn't necessarily need to be just a ton more snatch and clean and jerk. What you can do is just start to get practice through using other variations as well.